Since the days are getting a lot longer, it's getting harder to be in tune with yourself. I feel like in the summers when it's sunny and warm, I find myself reconnecting with nature. And since the days are going to get a lot longer, it's going to get a lot darker, a lot sooner. I've felt this before where it's hard to work on yourself because it feels like we're hibernating, literally, because we spend most of our days inside. Apart from commuting, I feel like I'm commuting to work. I'm in a car for like 30 minutes and then I'm inside an office. And, you know, I love my job right now because I get to go outside once in a while and it's nice. But once I'm done with work, I'm back in a car and then I'm in my apartment catching up. And I just feel like I don't have a lot of time to go outside since it's so cold. These are some ways that I have been working to disconnect, to reconnect. With a few things I've noticed with my patterns, and number one to anything is awareness and recognition. I recognize that I've been a lot more disconnected in certain times, in certain phases, in certain seasons of the year when I'm rushing. I feel disconnected when I'm rushing, and that says a lot because I'm not intentional with what I'm doing. I make a lot more mistakes. I become more clumsy, and I'm just not as cautious. So I've tried to narrow down the things that kind of drain me, that kind of pull me away from things that I'm truly passionate about, that's kind of blocking me. And so I've made a list, and so I'm going to name some of these for you guys. Starting off with the biggest culprit, social media. Just before I started recording, I literally went on my phone, unfollowed a couple people and a couple accounts that I just don't align with, don't see as much activity going on, or don't really resonate with at this season of my life. So I do this probably like every quarter. And so I do like a social media detox, unfollow, because I go through phases where I'm just like, ooh, that's a funny video, let me follow them, or oh, I like her aesthetic, let me follow them. I'm constantly following people. Now I have to go through this phase of detoxing and unfollowing and kind of reconnect with content that aligns with me and the type of stuff I want to be consuming, and reconnect with the things I'm consuming and being more conscious about it is another thing. I feel like when I'm doom scrolling, I am just watching a lot of funny videos. They're mainly of dogs and more recently penguins. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the algorithm has me on a chokehold right now. I am constantly watching funny videos and I'm like, I need to do something productive. I need to get off my phone. And so that's another thing. I just started unfollowing these funny accounts and I've kind of just detoxed my social media. Another thing that really helps is setting a timer. I set a 3-hour timer on my phone. You can do it on your settings. Just find it, Google it, how to create a timer or a screen time limit for your phone because it really helps. When I reach that 3-hour limit, my phone will notify me like, hey, you have 5 minutes left of social media. And so I'm like, okay, good sign. Let me slow down, put it away. And since social media is a part of my job now, I have been trying to disconnect from it when I come home and focus more on my projects and really taking care of myself a lot better. And it's not always linear. It never is. There's days where I come home from work and I'm on my phone. I'm not perfect. I'm human. There's days where I'm not cooking nourishing meals and I'm literally putting a pizza in the oven, which is what I did today. I was exhausted and I had a Pilates class to go to, and so I just literally popped a pizza in the oven, ate it real quick, went to my Pilates class, came back, ate some more pizza, and then went to the gym. And, like I said, progress isn't linear. If you can get your foot in the door, I think it counts. So, 1% progress, as James Clear would say, makes a difference. Another thing that I have been disconnecting from is the news. I used to be so up to date with what's going on in the world to the point where I would literally feel so guilty about my existence, of my life, to the point where I was always questioning, like, what if I wasn't here right now? Like, somebody else more worthy could be in my position. I feel terrible for not being able to do enough. And it's toxic in a way to always keep up with the news because it really has an effect on your mental health. It becomes exhausting and draining to always keep up, and there's a lot of terrible things going on. I'm very aware of that. But you're one person. There's only so much you can do. I always advocate for people sharing their voice online if that's the only thing you can do. That's kind of one of the things I do is vocalize my things online, reposting, sharing, or donating. And so I honestly have been exhausted. And so I have found other ways to inform myself by doing literally my own research and following credible resources before believing anything. When I see something that's interesting, I'm like, okay, fascinating. So I look into it, do my own digging, and that's how I kind of learn about what's going on in the world. And listening to podcasts also enlightens me with what's going on in the world. Another thing that I have been disconnecting myself from for the past, it seems like year, and I do this on and off, but I've been consistently disconnecting from rap music. Let me tell you why. If you know anything about energy and if you know anything about frequencies, you know that rap music can alter your brain chemicals and your frequencies. And so when I learned that there's certain frequencies in rap music that kind of alter your brain chemicals, I stopped listening to it as much. I wasn't listening to it as much because I'm like, yeah, the beat, the rhythm is so good, but I wasn't really paying attention to the words. So I'm the type of person who like won't know what the lyrics mean because they're in a different language. And I just like vibe to the music. And most of my songs I listen to now is like a lot of French music, a lot of Brazilian music, and sometimes I don't understand it. But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when I was listening to rap music, I couldn't fully understand what they're saying. In a context, I knew it was about like either getting money, guns, drugs, whatever. I knew that much. But I was like, oh, I love the rhythm, I love the beats. But you don't realize that it's actually giving off negative frequencies, if you know what I mean. I don't know. I feel like my life feels a lot lighter now that I'm not listening to as much rap music. Don't get me wrong, I still listen to my favorites who aren't as heavy. I listen to Aaron May, probably one of my favorites rap artists right now. I listen to Kendrick Lamar, and who else? See, it's hard to think about them. I'm not good with names in general, so those are just. Oh, and J. Cole. Always will be listening to J. Cole. But besides the point, I stopped listening to heavier, heavier music like Suicide Boys, and just a bunch of like depressing music, if you know what I mean. And I had my time and it was valid, and music was the one way to get me through those dark times. But now that I'm really focusing on elevating my lifestyle spiritually and emotionally, I'm being more conscious about what I'm consuming and what I'm listening that involves music. So I've been cutting off rap music and just listening to more jazz, more classical music, music in a different language, something that really makes my brain think, and not really just think, but something that my body feels. You know it's good music when you are just dancing, vibing. So that's just a little. I'll also probably note a couple of my favorite songs I've been listening to so far around here. If you're watching on YouTube or on Spotify, these are a few of my favorites that I've been listening to so far. Another thing I have been trying to disconnect from is alcohol. Ever since I turned 21, I was just out and about, going to different restaurants and just having a cute little cocktail. And, I'm a foodie. I eat out more than an average person, and I recognized that it was a problem. So now I'm really toning it down. And when I eat out, I would have like a little drink with it too. And now that I'm seeing my funds, I'm like, okay, let's just get a meal and stick with a water or some tea and just accept the moment. And I don't always have to have liquor. I don't always have to have a drink with me while I'm eating my meal. And that's just something I'm kind of toning down on. And if I do, it's just a glass of wine. So nothing heavier. Like my go-to drink would be like a tequila pineapple or a gin martini with some olives. But now I'm like, I need to tone it down. I do. And maybe just drink more moderately. Like I said, I'm human. I'm not expecting myself to do this consistently. I'm laughing at myself right now because I'm like, a martini sounds really good. But that's besides the point. It's a Monday. I'm not about to do that. I'm literally about to go to bed after this. But when Friday comes, I'm just going to pour myself a glass and read a good book, dance to some good music, and allow myself to indulge in the moment. Another thing I have been disconnecting from is people pleasing. If you're a creator of any form, you're an artist, you paint, you write, you're a content creator, you're a filmmaker, photographer, whatever it is, your audience is one of the biggest things you always keep in the back of your mind, because when you're creating, you want to make sure that your audience likes it, right? So when I'm creating these episodes, when I am posting online, I am always thinking about, oh, what will people think? Is this how I want to be perceived? I'm always being very critical of what I'm doing. And so I'm like, why should I be so critical? Like, yes, it's important to make sure that your audience likes what you're doing, but think about what you would be doing differently if there's nobody watching. What would I be talking about if no one was watching? If I didn't have an audience to receive my messages? It'd be different for sure. I'd probably feel like I'd just be talking about my day and what I'm feeling most of the time. And that's another thing to keep in mind is like, what would you be doing differently if you weren't being watched? If you didn't have an audience? It's a good thing to keep in mind. I feel like that really reframes things and allows you to think in a different way of how you should restructure or add on or take out whatever you're working on. Another thing I'm disconnecting myself from, which I have been doing for many years now, probably 3 to 4 years and counting, is negative self-talk. Now, when I was in high school, my friends and my peers would just joke about, oh, I'm so ugly, or oh, I'm so not good at that, or God, I could never see myself wear that. Just negative self-talk. I never liked it. I never was the type of person who would joke about that. And so I grew up around girls who would joke about the way they look, and not a lot of us were taught about our worth, about our value, truly. And so it's fair to not always think about that stuff. But I've been cutting off negative self-talk and replacing it with self-affirmations in the morning. Even when I'm tired, I put a smile on my face. I'm like, I'm going to do such a great day today. Even though I'm tired, I'm going to push through it because I'm capable of anything that comes my way. So replacing negative self-talk with positive affirmations and substituting that is huge. Another thing I've disconnected from is expectations. I feel like my whole life, my family has always had this expectation of me to be super successful and be the one that makes it out. And I have kind of put that expectation for myself too. And I'm not gonna lie, I still have that, but more so to the point where I've recognized my abilities and my limitations and knowing when I need to take a break, because nobody in my family has gone through what I'm going, and I've never gone through what they've went through. And so just being mindful of where I'm at and what it took for me to get here makes a difference, because I need to give myself grace for the things I'm going through and things I have gone through. And I have to remind myself I'm literally only 22. I'm still growing, I'm still learning, and I need to not rush myself, even though I do. I tell myself, I don't have time, when in reality, I have all the time in the world. I just have to constantly remind myself, I kid you not, every day, because I find myself and I catch myself every day. I kid you not, every single day I catch myself rushing in different moments of time, whether if it's on my way to work, whether it's walking, brushing my hair, washing my hands, going up and down the stairs. I catch myself when I'm rushing, and I literally have to ask myself, why am I rushing? I'm brushing my hair and I'm slightly in a little bit of pain because I'm pulling pieces of my hair out, and I'm like, why am I rushing? And so I'm learning to be more gentle with myself and allow myself to take my time, because if you won't, you're going to try to find somebody who is going to tell you what to do. If you can't navigate your life, you're going to start following somebody else's path. Now, not to stray off onto a whole nother episode, but in order to truly reconnect with yourself, you have to find out what works for you and what doesn't, and recognizing what drains you is the first step. And so here are some things that have helped me reconnect with myself. One, as you all know, is gratitude. Gratitude is really reminding yourself of what you have and reminding yourself that it's enough. Let me say that again. Gratitude is recognizing what you have and reminding yourself that it's enough. Another is nature. If you're not able to at the moment, just because it's cold, I'll take a deep breath in the morning and just like get a whiff of fresh air, and I think that's all right. Or I'll go on a walk and walk barley. That's my form of nature therapy in this season. It's just maybe 5-minute walks outside because it's so cold. But another is physical exercise. I have lately tried Pilates. I just tried a free course today and it was fun, and I think I'm going to start being more consistent and doing it once a month, because it does get expensive and your girl is not about to pay $100 each month for 4 classes. So I'm just going to take it easy. I'm not even consistent with the gym, to be honest. I used to go to the gym. I tried 2-3 days a week, and life gets in the way and you have other priorities. And so I think it's going to take it slow and just do one once a month and go to the gym whenever I can. Just being realistic with myself too on how much I can handle. Another thing is, since it's getting colder, taking my vitamins. Vitamin D I'm very low on, so I take that, and other herbs and teas. Another, very basic, everybody can do it, is sleep and drinking plenty of water. If you have some water and need some electrolytes and you think you need a Gatorade, stay at home and literally grab yourself a cup of water and just sprinkle some Himalayan salt and stir it. You've got electrolytes. You've got electrolytes right there. That's what I do. I just did that before I went to my class. And so, yeah. I noticed too that I was craving a lot of saltiness, a lot of sodium recently. And so I looked it up. I'm like, why am I craving sodium so much? And it's because I'm dehydrated. Makes sense. So I just had to add some Himalayan salt to my water and just drink more water. And I'm like, I have noticed that too in the past, where I'm drinking or I'm craving a lot of salty foods, and it's because I'm dehydrated. So be more in tune with your body, question everything you're feeling, and look into it. If you made it this far, thank you so much for being here. I wish you the best, and this is my message to you. In order to reconnect with yourself, disconnect from the things that drain you, whether it's people, places, or things, recognize the things that drain you and allow yourself to rest when you need to. Give yourself grace and take your time. Mwah. Salamat.